We'll now look at an example for a truth table for the conditional and also for the biconditional. Our first example asks us to construct a truth table for the following statement. Our statement says, if not P, then not Q. So let's begin our truth table by listing out the possibilities for P and the possibilities for Q. We know if we only have two simple statements, then we have four possibilities. So for the P column, we're going to put 2 trues and 2 falses. And then for the Q column, we will alternate true, false. We will then write out the statement that we're asked to find. So let's make a column for the negation of P. Remember that the negation of P is just the opposite of what we have in the P column. So the first one is T, the negation of that would be false. We have another T, the negation will be false. We have a false, the negation will be true. We have another false, the negation will be true. And then we'll do the same thing for the negation of Q, putting the opposite values in. So we will have false, true, false, true. So then we'll look at the implication. And remember that this will be our answer column once we have it completed. So if the first one is false and the second one is false, then we know we have a true. If the first one is false and the second one is true, we also have a true. If the first one is true and the second one is false, we have a false. And if the first one is true and the last one is true, then we have a true. And this completes our truth table for the statement. Our next example asks us to construct a truth table for the statement, if Q, then, and in parentheses, if P, then not Q. So again, let's begin with making a column for the P and a column for the Q. And we know that under the P column we'll have true, true, false, false. And in the Q column we will alternate true, false, true, false. And then let's look at what we're being asked to find. So I'm going to write my statement up here. Q implies, open the parenthesis, P implies the negation of Q. And so let's fill in what we know. For the Q, I'm going to simply copy the Q column underneath this Q. For the P column, I'm going to copy the P column from the left underneath here. For the negation of Q, for the not Q, I'm going to put the opposite of what I have in the Q column. So we will have false, true, false, true. So let's begin inside our parenthesis and let's look at if P, then not Q. So if P is true and our second statement is false, then we have a false. If both the first statement and the second statement are true, we have a true. If both statements are false, we have a true. And if the first statement is false and the second statement is true, we have a true. And so now I'm going to compare this one with this one. And again, this will be our answer once we finish this column. So if we have a true for the first one and a false for the second one, the answer will be false. If we have a false for the first one and a true for the second one, the answer will be true. If we have both trues, the answer will be true. And if we have false for the Q and true for the parenthesis, the answer will be true.